Hello and welcome back to Wario Land 3, this is Bio Enchanted, and today we'll be doing these beanstalks we've found. Of course that means we have to go all the way across the map back to the first area, in the vast plain. So this was a little bit weird because the beanstalks are just kind of, what we actually quite like is the beanstalks are kind of scattered all over the place, which is kind of a fun visual because it kind of gives the idea that while there are only 3 plants, they may be relatively invasive, which is kind of a fun idea. So while there's only 3 stalks, they may have started breeding. I kind of like the idea of the beanstalks being an invasive species instead of just having 3 neat stalks that tell you exactly where to go. Especially because it kind of makes it harder to figure out which one you actually need to climb on. Not that much harder, but it's a nice little visual. And that's a weird amount of realism as well to the idea. There's not really much point in those, but there actually is a good reason as well for us to be here at the current time of day, because it's currently night. And we'll see why that's important in a minute when I get past this room with all these pushy blocks that we do not want to be crushed by in this level. Being crushed is a bad thing. Also, a mildly annoying thing when you get when the shutter screen shake happens is when you're on those thin platforms, it can actually move you horizontally. So even if you're not moving, if you're on the platform and the screen shakes, you can get knocked off. So this is the reason to do this at night, not during the day. We're having to contend with the moon shooting these little stars at us. And what those stars do is they stagger us. They basically do the little electric kind of a thing, which is fine. We do not want to be here when the sun's out though in the day, because when it's the sun following you around, it shoots fireballs, and that results in Fire Wario, which is far harder to control than the getting zapped by the moon. So for this particular level, it really is best to go after it at night instead of during the day, because it actually makes a clever amount of difference, which is quite cool. And now that we've cleared that little shortcut, we can just get straight up there, as long as we don't end up on the ladder while the shaking's happening, because of course it knocks us down ladders too. It's a cute idea though. I quite like the whole idea of the moon chasing you, but yeah, as you can see, it's much easier to recover from that than it is to recover from Fire Wario in this area. Because Fire Wario, we wouldn't be able to just press up and go in the doorway. We'd be stuck waiting until it goes into Fireball Wario, which would be just way too hectic. So let's bully some more of these little spiky guys, shall we? And get humiliated for our trouble. I'm not going to cut out all the failures because some of them are kind of fun. I'm also not going to keep in enough to make it obnoxious. Here I actually got quite lucky, because that nearly screwed me over. I only did a little power, and there we are. And now we can go to that door we saw earlier and see what the key here gives us. Yeah, that was a risky jump. I should have just waited. Luckily these little guys aren't too much of a hassle in this area because there's nowhere for us to fall out. But yeah, this is our first green chest as well, which is quite cool. But luckily they can't kick us out, which is nice. Because one thing I quite like is that the game knows when a certain mechanic would be annoying more than fun. And if those little caterpillar guys were able to throw us out this whole room, that would make it annoying more than anything else. Dodging the moon's fun, because that's the actual obstacle. But dodging them is not. They're just kind of a doing want almost to the main puzzle. But here we have our red ring. Now it's daytime. So let's see what happens if the pool of rains Beanstalk, shall we? So here we go. The chest is right there, it's quite easy to reach. Yeah, I quite like the box solar platform as well, that's quite fun. But yeah, this area is quite difficult because the grass doesn't just obscure platforms, the leaves rather, the leaves also obscure a lack of platform. So the trick is figuring out which leaves are hiding a gap and which leaves are hiding a platform. And those little spiky guys are really annoying, those little blue guys, the little spear noses, whatever they're called. Because they just knock you straight off the platform. Which of course makes this area a huge pain to deal with, so of course I skipped most of it. Because I had a lot of failures here. But yeah, here there's a little guy hidden in that little bush as well, which is quite cheeky. But now we have our chest, I mean our key. So let's head to the chest, shall we? Which is much easier, and thank goodness for that. I think they knew that that was quite a tricky little bit, so they didn't make you do anything harder for the chest. They were just like, here you go. Fair enough. And we have another ring. So let's see what these skull rings do, shall we? Quite an epic one, this. We've summoned what the game calls the Tower of Revival, which is a cool name. Won't be seeing it quite yet though, because there was one other place with a beanstalk that we haven't checked out. So let's see what the grasslands beanstalk gives us, shall we? Now we actually already know where the key for the red chest is here, because we found it kind of by accident beforehand. So let's just go back there, shall we? I'll avoid these little birdie things. But yeah, here's the red key, and obviously this little thing is going to lead us to a red chest. We just need to find where the beanstalk is. At least even if it's not obviously, it can at least be inferred by the fact that it's the only other place we can really go. We can't get up there at all. There's not much else we can do here. Especially because we can't swim. Don't know if that'd be important here, but it might be given the structure of the level. I like all these like secret breakable blocks as well, they're quite fun. So clearly we need to do another minigame. But of course we can't dash from the ladder, we have to dash from a natural platform. So here we have to go up, jump over, and then bash to the left to actually clear this little shortcut area here. And as you've noticed, some of these pillars can be destroyed as well. There's always, of course, the ones above us. Yeah, let's be careful not to bounce. It's kind of like Tomb Raider, sometimes you need to dash, sometimes you need to jump. But sometimes you need to be very careful which one you do. Otherwise you hit it on the ceiling and look like an idiot. We can kind of infer that it's the last thing, can't we? Because it's this kind of a level design. It's always the last one. Do some more mini golf, shall we? Getting quite a lot of coins too. Especially because I'm getting a little bit better at the golf as well. I'm kind of figuring out the timing. And that was a nice easy one as well. Sometimes you get much harder ones. But if you mess up once, you're just screwed. So let's see what that chest has to offer, shall we? And here we get what looks like a wheel. So let's see what that does, shall we? The wheel attaches to this thing, which activates something at the volcano's base. But we'll see that in a later video, because we've also got this whole tower to look at as well. Please remember to like, comment, subscribe, and check out my Patreon as well. Speaking of, thank you to James Rossi for supporting me on Patreon.